Alright guys, we're going to be talking about two things today, which is the React Dev Tools, and also we're going to be adding a functionality to our application, which is just deleting a single option instead of deleting all options. Right now we have remove all. That is it. We can't delete one single one. If I wanted to, we can't. So yeah, that's it. So first of all, let's download or add an extension to our browser, which is called React Dev Tools. I'm going to say React Dev, not Deck, Dev. And it's going to be right here. I already have it added, but just add it. Okay. Once you've added it, you can actually get rid of this, and you could open up your console, your dev tool. Let me get rid of this. Okay. And you should see components right here. This is what you need to click in. Profile is another thing that we could talk to, but we're not going to be focusing on profile right now. We're going to just be focusing on components. Components is basically everything that you have in your application. Component wise, obviously. State component. That's why they hint components, you know. So anyways, it has all of our components listed right here. So if we do get an error by chance, it'll tell us where exactly it is in this component. Also, if you click on a component, it'll tell you all the props and state that component has. So for instance, we clicked on bucket list app. We do have, in fact, an array coming in, a prop, which is called new prop, or actually a prop called option. Sorry about that. And we could actually add a new prop if we wanted to, but right now we don't want to. But the good thing is that we could, rename some stuff. As you can see, I renamed it up here. Like I said, you can add a new prop if you wanted to. And that's basically it. This is the React Dev Tools. Dev Tool. And every time we have an issue or I want to talk something more in depth about what's going on, I'm going to be using this instead of actually trying to explain it to you verbally. As we all know, I'm not that good at it, and I'm not that good at that. So one more thing I do want to show you guys, other than clicking on one of them and action and props, or getting the props and states and all that stuff over here, is that if you click on one of them and you want to learn more about this thing or more about this component, you could go to console and type in $R, and this will give you what you selected, and it will give you everything more than what you want probably. So you got your props, content refs, updater is mounted. I'm pretty sure you don't have mounted. We don't have mounted stuff right here, so that's not gonna matter. But if you ever did, this is where you're gonna have it, or you can look more in depth into these kind of stuff. Our state, we got an error, as you can see right here, and actually, if I add one, see, enter actual thing, and then if I do it one more time right here, you can actually see enter actual string. This is for the browser only. It's spun by the React Dev Tools, the React Dev tool that we just downloaded. So yeah, every time you click on one, it'll every time you do $R, it'll just give you that one that we're actually looking at, right? So bucket list app, and you can see more in depth into that if you wanted to. All right, so enough about that. Let's actually get into removing one option from this thing. So let me actually move this to the side. Move this as well. And remember, guys, try to run this stuff. I always forget, but I did it this time. So, all right. In here, before we actually get into the nitty-gritty about removing an option, I actually want to make it somewhat nicer looking, and well, refactor, I guess you could say. And we're not refactoring hardcore. It's just some things that like this, for instance, instead of having this return, and since we're only returning one thing, we don't have to have it in this format. I'm gonna literally just copy this. We could literally return, since we're returning one thing, which is options, I'm going to return in parentheses options, or in parentheses our object, and inside our object we have options. If you control save this, you should still see it working in here. So this is a shorthanded way of actually doing stuff. if you're returning one thing and one thing only, you could use it this way. If you're not, then you would rather just do it the way we had it, where you have return. But look, for this instance right here, we have it. We're only returning this one thing. So what I could do is literally copy this, get rid of this bracket, add parentheses, get rid of it, add parentheses, and then add in our object of options. Control save, and there you go. So if we start adding some stuff, we get an error. There's a couple of more places that we could do this, so let's get right to that. Where's another one? Right here, we could get this as well, which is right here. Sorry, I'm like, it's not that, it's this. This is what we want. I'm gonna just copy this, copy it, get rid of the brackets, add in parentheses, and paste that in. Control save. And we still get our actual error right there, and that is it. This is just refactoring just a little bit, just to make it, nicer looking, I guess you could say. Instead of 5 lines of code like we used, or 5 lines of code, like we did have it previously, you only have it in one line. So it just makes it look nicer and also readable at the same time, even though the other way was readable, but you're just adding 5 extra lines of code for no reason. It's just a little something. All right, now to actually handle our delete option, singular. Okay, so I'm gonna put it right below this one. We're gonna create a method, obviously. Every time we do something functionality wise, we're always gonna create a method. So handle, I'm gonna say delete option, right? And for now, I'm just going to log this out to see if we actually are doing the right thing. And what I'm gonna log out is actually handle. I'm gonna actually copy this. And option, I did forget that we are going to be passing in a specific option inside of this. Yes, right? And we're going to have to bind it up here. So this shouldn't be new, guys. We're just adding a method and binding it. That is it. Handle delete option equals to this dot handle delete option dot bind this. All right, control save. Now we do need to pass this down all the way to option, not options, our component option, because this is where this option is the one we're gonna be, when someone clicks on it or clicks on a certain option to remove, this is where it's going to be displayed. Since this is displaying all of the option text right here, this is where all the logic has to go to. So that way we could pass it back up, or pass it to the function, pass it to this function we created up here. So how do we do that? Well, we don't have direct access to the component option within our bucket list, our main component, which is right here. We don't have direct access. So what we could do is pass it into options, and options could pass it down to option. Now, for simplicity's sake, you wouldn't want to really do this way, because prop chaining is going to be super messy down the road, and we don't want that in the future. Okay, we don't want that. This prop chaining hell, we just do not want that. There is another way of actually doing it, but it's adding more complexity to this application, because we're gonna have to do a lot of configuring. And right now, it's just for this simple, you're barely learning React, so this is why I'm doing it this way. Just know that there is another option that you could do it, and if by all means, if you could, search it in Google, do it, go for it, and try to hook it up yourself. But we are going to be talking about that in the future videos. But right now, we're going to do just prop chaining. Okay, so in here, let's add in our handle delete option, which is going to equal this dot handle delete option. Down here in our options, we are calling the component option right in here. So we could still prop, we're passing in props right here, obviously. So we're gonna do the exact same thing right here. But to make it look nicer, so that way we don't like it doesn't look confusing. I'm gonna just add parentheses around what we're returning, which is we're returning all this. I'm gonna just add parentheses around that, so that way I could actually move it down to the next line. Okay, and this is going to be so much simpler to read. And something went wrong. Let me see what's going on. Where is this at? Okay, hold on. Okay, I put the parentheses in the wrong place. It's actually out here. Alright, cool. And we're going to add another option down here. Or a prop. We're going to add another prop, which is called handle delete option singular. We're going to make that equal to props dot handle delete option. I hope I didn't lose you. I know I didn't lose you here. We're just passing a prop into options. I'm pretty sure I lost you here, so let me just go through this pretty quick. So we used to have it where option was just in one line. All I did was add these parentheses, so that way React will know that, okay, we're just returning inside, we're going to return everything inside these parentheses, which is exactly the same thing. We're returning one thing. It's an option component. That is it. But the reason I added these parentheses is that so that way I could actually move it to the next line, so it could look a little bit nicer, if you know what I mean. It'll look a little bit nicer, and actually we could actually do it like that, so that way control tab, like just just like that. Okay, and that is it. So now we're passing in handle delete options into options. So now we could go down here and mess around with it. So right down below the props option, we're gonna create a button, right? And we're gonna have it named remove. This is where we're gonna do an on click on this button. That's why. So on click, we're gonna set that equal to props dot option or handle delete option, just like that. Now if you control save this, we should have two of them right there. Let me actually do our count log. So if I actually do remove right here, you would see, oh wait, hold on. You know what? I just figured out why it wasn't count logging everything. I added it in our silly me. I added it in the action instead of options. No wonder. Control save. There you go. Now it's doing it. So anyways, the thing right here. Where are we? We're right here. All right. As you can see right now, we do get our cancel log, handle delete option, but we don't get the actual option being passed in. We're never using the option text in our handle delete option method, right? So what's actually happening right now is giving us the event that would just happen. Type, click, target button is giving us the event. We don't want the event. We actually want to pass in option text. So how do we actually do that? Well, there are a few ways to actually do it, but where we're going to do it is we're gonna pass in an on click. Instead of actually passing in the props.handle option, we're going to actually create a function inside of it, and then from there call handle delete option. So let's get that right now. I'm going to just create a arrow function like that, and we're going to pass in the event, what's going on. We don't typically need it for this one, but I'm going to pass it anyways. And right here, this is where we're going to actually call in our props.handle delete option. And inside of that, we are going to give it the text that we want. Just like so. Control save. Now we actually remove it. Oh. Props.handle add option. Handle delete option. Control save that. Sorry about that. Remove. Now we actually have our actual text getting inside of our method. Now that we have that going up over here, we can actually, remove it the option from the array. So to do this, we're gonna use the JavaScript filter method. Okay, and I'm not gonna go what filter is. I'm gonna go briefly about it. So you already know how to manipulate the option. So this is pretty normal. This dot set state, pretty simple right here. And we are gonna need access to our previous state. Arrow function, just like that, and we're gonna return option. Options. We want to get our options, and we're going to return pre-state state.options dot. This is where we're going to call in our filter method, and we're going to pass an option. It's going to give us an option back. So let me actually explain what's going on right now. It would be actually easier if I just showed you. Let's just go. Let's just do it. So this is what filter does. It's a method that creates a new array with all elements that pass a test implemented by the provided function. So like I said, filter loops through the array. Word is the actual word coming in. And if it's true, like right here, if word.length is greater than 6, we want to pass that into result. And this is the result that you would get. Obviously spray is not, limit, elite is not. So the only words you would get would be this, and this. 3. Yeah, 3. So that's what it does, and that's exactly what we need. Because what we're going to do is right here, we're going to return option where it does not equal option. And this might be actually confusing, so I'm actually going to right here option to remove, so that way we know which one we're talking about. So we're going to say return option to remove does not equal option. So we're going to loop through the array, correct? We're going to loop through this array. So if I wanted to get rid of go to Japan, it's going to come in here. It's going to loop through this. So the first one is red light district. So it's going to say red light district does not equal the option. I mean, this one is the one we passed in. So this is the one we're going to remove. So go to Japan does not equal the first array, the first element, which is red light district, does not equal red light district. This is false. So, oh yes, this is true. It does not equal it. So it's going to pass it into the new array. Now when we get to the new one, go to Japan does not equal to go to Japan. That's false. It does equal it, so it's going to return false, which will not be passed into the array. I hope this makes sense. I hope so. But one thing to take note that since we're only returning this, we could actually grab this, remove this brackets right here, and actually just paste that in, and this will work just fine as well. Now, if we actually remove go to Japan, it'll remove it. Let me just add some other stuff. Add. I'm gonna remove this one. Yes, it starts removing the ones we don't want to, which is exactly what we wanted. So guys, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions whatsoever, leave them down in the comments down section below. I will get to them when I have a chance. I know I've said that so many times and I've been gone, but I will get to them. And like always, thank you guys for your time, for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.